Hi, and welcome to this episode of the podcast called Leading Complexity. And today we have a visitor that we have seen before. And the reason why we bring her back is because she has so many interesting things to talk about. Please welcome Linda Rising.
It is my pleasure to be here. It's a beautiful day in Nashville and the sun is shining.
And so is it here in Stockholm as well, most of the
Yeah.
time at least. Just now the clouds came. Okay, so you will have a session in this year's program about leading complexity, and it will be about the opposite kind of group genius. Can you tell us a little bit more?
So we know that we're interested in how groups work together, and we've been doing things a certain way for a long time because groups, of course, have been the way we've operated as long as we've been human. But I think what we need to do now is pay attention to what science has to say, because there's a lot of research that's available on how do you compose a group, who should be on a team, how big should it be, what are some suggestions for better ways of working, are there better ways of making decisions, for instance? That will tend to be my focus in the presentation, is better ways of making decisions as groups based on what science has to say.
Yeah, can you reveal a little bit? Because I kind of seen this dilemma many times before. I mean, on one side, we have the advantage of having more people focusing on the same problem and figuring out how to solve it with different perspectives. I used to call this mobilizing brain power. So use a lot
Yeah.
of intelligent people to solve problems. But on the other side, and I think especially when we look at what is happening in the world right now, we have this feeling of how stupid could actually people be when they are coming together, so to speak. So this is something that is really interesting for me to consider. And now you say we have something from the scientists as well. And
Yes.
could you give us some hints? I know that the full answer will come. Let's see, it's November 25, I think.
Yep.
And but maybe you can give us something now.
So I think the biggest mistake that we make, not only as individuals, but I live in a community that has a board of directors, and that board of directors is made up of a few people who make decisions for the group. Organizations make the same mistake, governments make the same mistake, and that flaw in our decision making about groups is if we just had a collection of very smart people, wouldn't that be the best way to address the issue? Of course, because we know about intelligent people. We can even measure that. We have IQ tests, intelligence tests that have been around for decades, and those are valid. We know they actually measure something that the psychologists call intelligence. And those people who have higher scores on intelligence tests are more intelligent. It's an easy thing to do. In fact, if you were going to hire people for your organizations and could only do one thing, the best thing to do would be to give them an intelligence test. So therefore, we hire all these intelligence people. In fact, some companies have it as a slogan: we hire the best. They advertise their PR, their job applicants. We want the best. We want the smartest. The people who graduated in the top 10% of their class. The people who went to MIT or Harvard. We want the best. And now all we have to do is put them together in a group, and what we will have is magic. We will have an intelligent, we will have a smart team. And there is research now. There is scientific research, not new research. This has been going on now for over a decade, that shows clearly that smart people together in a group are not necessarily going to give you a smart or an intelligent, if we could say that, an intelligent team or an intelligent group. It doesn't work that way. Oh no.
But why? I mean, why is it that smart people coming together could be stupid, like a sect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they are justifying something that it feels like just before they got in this group, they will not accept that. But suddenly they are accepting it and saying, even arguing for it, being an advocate for it.
Yeah. So there's plenty of scientific research that says what you get if you just hire the best is a group that's all alike. They are homogeneous. And in fact, I was just in Prague at a conference and talking about group intelligence, and a manager came up to me afterwards and he argued. He said, it's better when we all think alike. In fact, some organizations even do that. They call it hiring for culture fit. We want people who will fit into our culture, who think the way we do, who operate the way we do. And in fact, agile communities are the guiltiest for that approach. We want people who are agile. We want people who can adopt agile practices. And what you get is what you hired, homogeneous people who are all the same. And that is absolutely the worst kind of group or organization that you can have when everybody thinks the same way. Science shows that if you take any issue for a group where they all feel the same way about whatever it is, now you put them together in a group. The group, if we could say the group has a brain or a mind, the group will be even more extreme than any of the individuals. And so therefore, it's biased in how it sees the world and in how it makes decisions. So even a homogeneous group of very, very, very smart people, a homogeneous group is absolutely the worst kind of group for anything, for creativity, innovation, better decisions, whatever the metric, whatever you're looking for. If everyone in the group is the same, they all are white males who went to prestigious schools. Oh, yeah, that's where we are now, at least in the US. White males who all went to the same schools, who all went to Yale. Maybe they weren't very good students. We have a president right now who claims that he was a good student when he was not. So, but they all think alike. So out of that collection of people comes absolutely the worst kind, because you have no one who sees things differently, no one who can stand back and look at what the group is doing to say, wait a minute, we haven't thought about. And so the group even doesn't even act in its own best interest. It's shooting itself in the foot, so to speak. The decisions will ultimately come back around to hurt them, so they're not even acting in their own best interests because they all think alike.
Thank you. I must say, I feel a little bit guilty about a lot of things you have said, so this is a mind-opening thing. I will also continue because there is a risk now that the whole podcast will be cancelled because what I'm just about to say. But I'm usually most afraid not about the strange leader or the evil leader, if you like, but when the followers are trying to beat each other about being even worse.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the episode in the news. I was that some person in US was suggesting to change the name of Greenland to land, white land, and blue land. And I was thinking, oh my God, they are trying to beat each other with being even more stupid. And, and that's what scares me when this happens.
Yeah.
Uh, in a way of looking good for this leader, they are trying to beat the leader, in this case, him, with being even worse, and
Sure.
that's where it could really go totally wrong, because
Yeah.
then you don't have people around that could say, well, wait a minute, just be serious
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's right. They egg each other on. They encourage, and
Yes.
it's not just a particular group of people. It's what we all do when we're in a group, and this could be also online.
Oh
Social
yeah,
media,
definitely.
social media exacerbates this, makes it much worse. That when you're in a group where everyone thinks the same way, where it's a very homogeneous group, then each person in the group tries to outdo the others. It's a way of getting acceptance from the group, of showing the group how good you are at whatever it is, to make suggestions that are more outrageous. And then, of course, no one else in the group will disagree. They will then come up with their own amazing ideas. So the group becomes more and more ridiculous over time. And no one ever stops to say, wait a minute, this
Yeah.
might not be a good idea. We can see that in the group that's now trying to make things healthier for children. And what they're doing is successively getting rid of vaccines. They're opening their own children up to getting horrible diseases that we thought we had eliminated. Things like measles. A child has died of measles. If they'd
Yeah.
had the vaccine, but somehow this group now has decided that all vaccines are bad. And then all children should have no, and now babies should not have. They just become more and more ridiculous because the community has no one in it that says, wait, the research shows. In fact, no one listens to research. No one listens to evidence. It's not that that group is anti-science. We are all anti-science if we believe, if we sincerely believe in something, nothing in the world will convince us. We are not rational creatures. We don't make decisions based on logic. We make decisions based on emotion and what we
Yeah.
believe deep down inside. Of course, if it's a minor thing like what brand of toothpaste should I use, okay, you can probably convince me that my toothpaste is not so good, and I might listen to you. But if it has to do with abortion rights or gay marriage or being vaccinated or something contentious, political, then you're not going to convince me. I don't care what evidence you have. And that's true for all of us.
Yeah, I guess that evolution have shown that it's really scary to be outside the group, and one
Yes,
way of being inside is to agree with everything, how stupid it might be.
that's right. It's survival. And
Yeah.
at one time it did mean physical survival. We couldn't make it on our own. And now a lot of those biases that we developed that kept us alive thousands of years ago are still there. We haven't evolved enough to fit into a modern environment where we really should pay attention to evidence. So the brains that we have were the brains that we used in the Stone Age. There's been very little updating in our operating system, I guess you could say. And that's true for all of us, even now, that we want to be a part of a group. We want to be accepted. We want people to like us. And the struggle that organizations have in having teams that are not homogeneous is we don't like it. We like people who are like us. We like people who think the way we do. We like people who see the world the way we do. Those are the people we feel make us better. When in reality, science shows we're better as a group if we have people who are different, but we don't feel comfortable, if we have to evaluate the performance of our teams and we are not homogeneous, and if we don't agree, we say, no, this team is no good. We can't agree. We don't get along. Our results are not as good. When the science shows your results, your output is better. So it flies in the face of evidence to have this preference for homogeneity, but that's where we feel better. We like it.
It's like a really good bun. You
Yes.
know it's not good for you, but you like
Yes.
it.
Yes. And if we have
Ah,
a choice, in hiring people in an interview, oh, we'd much rather hire someone where we can just talk and we feel we agree, we see the world the same way. Those are the people that we hire. We don't like the contentious people, the ones who have a different point of view or that look differently. They don't look like us for some reason. Different sex, different race, different religion. Perhaps they have a physical handicap. We don't really like those people. We would never say that, but we really don't. And so then when the hiring decision is made, we make up a story and say, well, I'm not sure that they would be as capable or that they would fit in as this other person who's just like me. So we do that and we feel like we're making a rational, objective decision when no, it's based on, I feel, I like this person better. Yeah.
you are really good at waking up a lot of thoughts, or inside me at least, and so it will be really, really interesting to hear more at your session. I hope that everyone will participate and be a little bit, what would you say, woken up. Is that a correct English? I don't know, but in
More
some
open,
way, sorry,
more open.
more open. Yes, but I think you are provoking a lot of new thoughts, a lot of new thinking in me, and that will be really interesting to deal with. And I need to do that after this interview. And so thank you very much. I think that is the best thing that could happen, actually, to have a new view. So thank you very much for this interview. I'm really looking forward for your session.
Thank you.
Thank you.